It's so good to have you on the show. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, I'm well. I'm doing well. I'm good. And the energy is right.
Yeah.
Oh, the energy is right. So quickly, let's not waste any time. Let's just get into talking about music. Let's get into talking about all the songs that you've been releasing lately. Recently, we had Anytime, the reimagined version.
Yeah,
Of course, we know that it was Nice that originally made that song, and then you went on to do. Let's talk about the features you've had on some of these reimagined versions of songs. From Olufumi, you had Odumodu Black. Lots of people still question that choice today, and then they still drag you. But I just want to ask the question of what inspires or what helps you tilt towards certain artists when you're trying to pick collaborations for these songs that you are remaking so beautifully, I do have to say.
So majorly, I look out for the artist that is going to tell the story well. If I'm going to do a song, I'm looking for somebody that fits the story, that also fits the profile of what the song is saying. You understand? Which I've explained. I think I came on here, and I explained about the Odumodu side of Olufumi.
Yeah.
I try to also look out for somebody that I know will definitely support what I'm doing, will believe in. You know, it's not just, okay, it's 𝐈𝐍𝐒𝐿 Cabasa, and let me just give him the verse and just leave it for that. No. I also want much more. I want you to be proud of what we have been able to create ourselves. So majorly, that's what I've been doing.
Fantastic. All right. Now we're gonna craft the questions this way, and I'm happy that she started off on that note, because when you were here the last time, you talked about all of this coming forth, and you know, starting off from the very first one we had, then to Olufumi, and then Bury Me came out, and then now we have Anytime. If there's one thing that I've always asked Kolade, we're together in the production. I think it was early this year. And he was, based on saying that inside gist now, he was just giving me a sneak peek. And because I know I couldn't say anything, so I kept my mouth shut, even though there are some things I already kind of know based on being, guy thing. And he said something to me. He said, we are remaking the music industry. Now, we're going to come off this way. The goal of this, is it just to celebrate the legend of the artist Nice? Or is there something else? Is there something deeper than what we are seeing on the outside?
So the goal is not just to celebrate Nice. Probably one of the things that comes with the goal would be that Nice will get celebrated. I get celebrated. Some of the other guys that I'm using their songs like their Star Plus and some other guys that I've actually collected from, they will get celebrated. But the goal actually is more about redefining our values when it comes to making music, trying to keep the Afrobeats narrative, the story. Nowadays, if we are not careful, I think one of the scary things that is happening is people have started defining Afrobeat for us. They tell us, they gave it the name. Uncle 𝐒𝐭𝐚𝐲 was on air recently, and I did a video, by the way, where I was answering that, look, just like River Niger, somebody got there, you saw people fishing, and you said you discovered it. So, all of those things, if we are not careful, I think we are gatekeeping the wrong thing. We are trying to gatekeep sound, which is not supposed to be so. We are supposed to, not in a way gatekeep, but we are supposed to keep the narrative around it, the history of Afrobeat and all of that. So this is aimed at taking you to where it's coming from. Because if you don't know where you are coming from, you are lost where you are.
I agree.
You understand? So there is a need to remind you, look, this is where it's coming from. Also to bridge different generations. There was a time, I think 2 years ago, 3 years ago, where the young guys are saying the OGs are doing too much. The OGs are saying the young guys are disrespecting them. So instead of keeping that energy of disrespect, that energy of you are doing too much, why not let us collaborate? You understand? Bring the sound of them, which was actually some of the sounds that actually formed what we are doing now. Let's have the guys now still jump on that sound. The Gen Z generation, the next generation after them, they feel what their parents felt, what some of their other brothers and sisters felt. Then the older ones too, they are listening to a song that they know. It's giving them some sort of nostalgia, and they can hear younger guys, and they are like proud that yes, we are not lost. You understand? It's more like a bridge. I'm trying to bring that in. Then, if you watch most of the videos that I've been shooting, I try not to go the route of I'm intentional with, not going the route of just show you know, everything.
Yeah, we get it.
I want to tell stories. I want you to
videos.
see that, look, music has eternal value.
Yeah.
It's not just vibe on vibe, though there is vibe in it, but it has to have more essence.
Yeah.
We cannot keep passing, we pass the test of popularity and fail in the test of essence. So if we can get more essence into what we are doing, you heard Buju Banton one time when he was talking, and he was saying that Afrobeat is not. I don't agree totally with him, but I think he has a point. So there's if I keep saying it, guys might think it's not possible. That except to do some things before. So I would rather do than I lead by doing. Then you see that I can actually. Then by the way, some of the people that I'm picking to, I'm also trying to talk to listeners that don't profile people.
How do you mean?
Yeah, don't profile people as this is the only thing this person can do. This is the only thing this person can never be on a song like this. This person cannot be on. People at the end of the day, human beings are not good or bad. What they do might be good or bad, but you can't really define any human being as this one is good, this one is bad. So until we start to remove ourselves from that limit, that box that is limiting, because that's that profiling sometimes shuts creativity down.
Yes, it does. Yes.
That even the artist might not believe that they can do some other things.
Yes.
Just imagine if I wake up today and I get probably, I don't want to mention names, a particular artist that people feel he has a nuisance value, and I decided to have the guy do a song that is almost like encouraging people. Two things will happen.
Yeah.
Three things will actually happen, but the last one is not something to reckon. Three things will happen. First one is people will start to have a new look at the person and actually know that something good can actually come from this person. Number two, the person saying that happen will start having a rethink that I can actually do all of this good stuff and people will accept me. Then the top part is the Pharisees and Sadducees that will that are going to criticize the guy. That was why I said theirs don't really, as in my own story, theirs don't really matter to me.
But we're in an industry that has changed over time, and the beautiful part of it that you have been at the forefront of that change. But we take a walk back in time, and we also view through the lens of the future to look at the kind of artists that have come forth and the way they are taking Afrobeats to be. Now, it looks like everybody's trying to take a piece of the pie. Recently, Burna Boy had said something about, people not taking their, artists not taking their local fans seriously because they won't fill up a stadium. Yeah. And we've asked a couple of artists that we've had on the show that question, but want to hear from you especially.
That's what precisely.
Now, he said that I think in summary, don't take the local fans seriously.
They can't fill up the stadium for you. They're just the social media fans.
And he gave us the rate card, in quotes. He gave us the rate card of what it takes, for streaming value in Nigeria and all the countries.
Versus other currencies.
And honestly, according to that rate card, it's very low. So Burna put out that statement. Do you think it's a viable statement that don't take the local fans seriously? No, they will only trend you. But looking at the fact that Burna Boy needed those local fans to rise in the first place.
So, like you said, they will only
hype you. Yeah.
You also need that. I am always very careful to actually comment on what some of these guys say.
Yes.
And because most times they say those things from a place of context. Which we might not have, full. But let us look at it from, I would say, from another angle.
Yeah.
If the structure and systems are in place, you should ask yourself, what does it really take to fill a venue? Is it the cost?
Very interesting.
Or all of those things? Because by the time you look at stream as our only numbers, you will be doing yourself a disservice. Because I can tell you that streams does not really tell the true situation of our listenership. We have what they call the unaccounted for data, which is actually
unaccounted for data,
which is bigger than your stream. What is the stream numbers when you go to, what is the subscribers number of Spotify in Nigeria? It's less than 500,000. Of Apple Music is less than 500,000. All of those things. And can you tell me, even the reaction you see on Twitter is over millions, so you will definitely, in fact, what captures a beat, not even the whole thing, is Audiomack.
Okay.
You look at the purchasing powers of Nigerians, yes, Bonner is very right with what he said, which is what I also try to tell people that look, as much as you sell music locally, try to also sell globally so that you can have better streams with good money and all of that. Bonner is speaking from a new place now. Bonner is I am always careful to say this so that people will not take me out of context. Bonner happens to be musically one of the artists that I actually love so much.
Musically,
yes,
I'm
musically, yeah. Musically, even as a person, I've not had an interaction with him, but I've had interaction with the mom, and I see where some of those things are coming from, which is more coming from place of, look, this is what it is. That was why I said people should not take him out of context. He's speaking from a contextual point of view. The way Burna Boy is reasoning now, you cannot compare it to somebody that has never left Nigeria.
I agree.
To go and, you understand. So what Burna said might not work for everybody. A guy that is just coming up definitely needs the local
hype and everything.
You understand, and all of that. Not just the hype, even, you know, the little money that is coming in, little money, shouldn't spend it. You still need all of that. So it's not a one cap fits all. But we also have to pay attention to the fact that we haven't accounted for data. If the systems and structures are in place, there are venues in the United States that is not more than 5,000 to 10,000 that people pride themselves in filling up. A hotel can also do that. So if artists can actually fill up a hotel, I'm sure if we have a bigger venue than a hotel that you can, you know, assure people of security and all of that, and we have proper show system in Nigeria, I think that is what is missing, not people to fill it up. Trust me, Nigerians really want to have a good time. They want to go for shows. We just need to create a culture for that, and we'll be able to fill up those places. And by the way, let me also say that the purchasing power is becoming better, not because people are making monies in their pockets, but because now Naira is finding its value. I agree. You understand what I'm saying? Naira is finding its value. Like for me now, before, to mix a song, how much do you pay a mixing engineer? But now everybody is charging. Looking at, you are making monies from, you are making monies in dollars, and they are charging.
So everyone is starting.
So the industry itself is finding its feet, and you can now actually walk up to labels, distro companies, and tell them that, look, do you think we are paying less to actually get these things out? This is what we have been paying, and is compared to what they pay abroad, is almost the same thing. So everything is finding its level. You understand what I'm saying? But for now, and I think Bona is right, the system and structure to actually do great shows, they are not really there. You are scared that if you go there, some people are going to attack you, and all of those things. You understand? So that was why I said people need to pay attention. We should look beyond the feeling that comes with that truth and look much more into some of those. But to say that the people to fill those venues are not available, no, there are people to fill it. Put the systems and structure in place, and people will fill them up.
Just before we go back to music, right? We have been talking about Afrobeat today and Afrobeat back in the days, and you are somebody who, rightfully you said, you've been trying to redefine music, remake some of these songs, make it the best it can be. I think that we should just take a class today, take a class from someone who has over 2 decades of experience when it comes to Nigerian music. That is you, of course. So let's go back to Afrobeat back then in the early 2000s and Afrobeat today. What are some things that both generations can pick from each other? Maybe like 2 things. Let's just do like 2 things each. That maybe an artist from today, talking about the likes of Fola, 𝐈𝐍𝐻𝐈, even T.I. Blaze, and some of these guys can pick from artists like Nice and Olu and some of all these other people from back in the days.
So for every generation, there is always a language code, sort of language code that's, you know, even the vibe is not always the same. So for, let's say, the generation that we had, for the Nice generation, funny enough, I've been before that generation.
Let's just, let's start from there. Let's start from where you've been.
I was a very young guy that was privileged to also work with the likes of Chief King Sunny Ade. And Wasiu Ayinde, and all of those people. There were stuff that were picked from that generation that generation influenced, which is what they are still influencing us to date.
Of course.
The Fuji vibe that you hear is coming from that generation. Some of their Apala, the Juju is coming. So what are some of the things that we picked that are eternal from all of those things? It's still the storytelling. You understand? Storytelling. That generation was more about telling things that people should relate to, not just to vibe to. That generation too has, because of lack of, should I say, the technology then was not much.
Solid.
You had to do everything by yourself. To record a song then was harder, to do some of those things, which as hard as it was, it also built musicmanship.
Yes.
That generation paid more attention to performance than just recording songs. Yeah. They paid more attention.
That's something
to,
you can even start a whole nother
they
conversation
paid
on.
attention to a lot of performance, you know, and all of that. Then, but like I keep saying, next come back to this generation now, which I would say Burna is still from that generation.
I agree. Yes.
You could see what Burna is doing, and I think people should. I love Burna for that. Burna is also teaching his generation that it's beyond DJ play, and I'm just busting on it. Ashake is teaching his generation so that it's beyond DJ play. They can still bust on it. So this generation, they have their own good side, but let me say some of they need to correct that side of, don't just be a recording artist. That some of them, even on the video set, they don't remember the song that they've recorded again, because they end up, they record much, they record so much, they pay so much attention to recording, they don't really sharpen their craft in terms of performance, rehearsing with the band. How do I present what I've recorded? Which is why I said, create a tour system, and you will force these guys to learn their own songs, know their own songs, know how to perform the songs over and over again. So that then the second part where I said, is it that this generation is not telling stories? No, they are still telling stories, but I think some things have changed. My generation was coming from the wilderness, so we were singing freedom, we were singing pain. This generation is, and pardon me to say this with all humility, is going through a lot of depression. So there's a lot of vibe coming from, we want to escape what we are facing.
Shout out to Omale.
When people sing about drugs, you know, the elderly ones go after them. Why are you singing about drugs? Go and fix the reason why they are going to drugs. Sincerely,
This is
you need to go and fix why. There is a lot. If you need to fix that, fix our value system. The things we are priding ourselves in. You know, everybody is almost like they are lost. So the only way I can escape from the reality on ground is to shy you, is to smoke, is to do some of those things and all of that. So I think there is a need to actually work on that. If there is a time over the years that I've been around that I think there has been so much depression within the system, is this period.
Yes.
And there is a need. And you know, the older generation is not really seeing mental health as a thing, and I think they need to pay. They need to. In fact, to artists too, most artists that I know, a lot of them are going through one mental problem or the other, but they have to show up, they have to entertain you. Question is, who is entertaining the entertainer? You understand? So they get to entertain you. Who is going to entertain them? Who is going to take care of them and all of that? So one of the good things, by the way, with this generation, a lot of positive things. They are very ruthless. They are very bold. People misunderstand that a lot to being rude. They are also very brief. The attention span, so they are very brief. So you might say it's because they don't have what to say, but rather this is the way I see it. It is when you don't understand a thing that you need long words to explain it. But if you understand it, you understand. You can quickly just put it up, make it brief. And these guys are very brief. I love also the dances that are coming out now. They are just chill. You know, they are just chill. I stay on. Unfortunately, I don't know how to dance. I can't even dance to save myself. So I stay on TikTok to just feel the dance and all of those things. And they have a whole lot of them. Not that there is one particular dance that is
everybody's trying something new every other time. Yeah.
There's just, despite all that we are going through, these guys have a way of making us happy. They have a way of still creating their own joy and all of that. So for me, the old generation, new generation need themselves, which was why I started this whole Reimagine thing. Because there's nothing really new. The new is coming from the old.
Yes.
at the end of the day, what is new today will become old, and the new that will come from that same old. There's always a recycled, reimagined, reinvented, whatever you want to call it word. So we need to pay attention.
You know what? We have been speaking to, of course, the legend himself, 𝐈𝐍𝐻𝐈 Cabasa. And if you've been listening since 2 p.m., I'm sure that you've gotten a thing or two. I mean,
I'm telling you.
I think if there's one thing I'll pick up on what he's said is that healing is, there's nothing wrong with this generation of singers or musicians. It's just that everybody's speaking their message and sharing their message, but people are not listening deep enough to understand. So you have 𝐈𝐍𝐻𝐈 singing about so take my pain away, but the guy's going through depression, and then a parent hears that song and is like, this guy is a sinner, he will go to hell. But he's crying about something that needs to be solved.
They need to be. I think they need to be heard. Mohbad said a whole lot
in his music
people were not listening to, and all of that. You know, when we hear stuff now, we just bounce to it with vibe, correct song, it's sweet, but we are not paying attention to what these guys are saying. And social media is not even helping.
It's not.
An artist go through all of that. You eventually create music, you put it out, then the next thing is people start to compare your song to another. They start to, sincerely, I don't envy Wiz, David, Bonner.
They're actually going through a lot of social media.
Because sincerely, what people do to them on social media, the comparison game, those hates that they push towards those guys. And when you go behind the keypad to see the people that are typing these things,
these are people that don't know nothing about music.
If not doing is fine. These are people that have not even done anything for their own lives.
Yeah.
Sincerely. You understand? So there is a need, because sometimes I tell people that I keep most of my opinion to myself, especially when I know that, yes, that opinion might be the truth, but it might hurt another person. So it's my goal to harm you or to correct. If I need to correct, I would rather speak to you rather than speaking about you.
I'd rather speak to you rather than
speaking about you. So these are some of the things that I just feel that people need to pay attention.
Let's get back to the music. Lots of word for thoughts. We'll be thinking about it as we're listening to this song, okay?
It's Bury Me reimagined, 𝐈𝐍𝐻𝐈 Cabasa's Zlatan and 𝐶𝐈. So right after the next phase of the interview, we'll just be us talking about the music and, of course, anytime the creation and the involvement of Ajebo Hustlers on this one. I think
yes, we're going to talk about that.
Let's go on and we'll be back, guys. We're at the concluding phase of this amazing interview with 𝐈𝐍𝐻𝐈 Cabasa, ladies and gentlemen, right here on 92.3 Inspiration FM, your number one family radio station. Of course, 𝐒𝐭𝐴 here, Olubukola Jadi on the other side of the table, matching shirts, of course, same color with
Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous.
I am jealous. It's nothing. You can tell me. I'm already
jealous. If it's any comfort, he's wearing a black pants, so you guys are cleaning.
Oh, please.
I think that one thing that I said I was going to ask you and I wasn't going to miss was about your branding. You are someone who has been around for over 2 decades, and recently I found myself on your Instagram page. I think it was around the time you had the conversation with 𝐒𝐭𝐲𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐜, and I was watching some of your videos or some of the things you said, and then I was just going through your page, and I'm like, anyone that sees this man's page would think that he's a Gen Z person or maybe someone who broke out at about this time. So one question I have for you is, how are you able to maintain the relevance? How are you able to evolve with time? How are you able to use social media? Because we have some people who broke out at about the time you did, and they possibly don't even have a catalog, talk less of even a social media page. So how are you able to use everything that's going on time after time to revolve, maintain your brand, even become bigger as time goes by?
I think it's a function that people have asked me this. I think I've answered somewhere here today, and it's still the same answer. That so one of the things for me is to stay humble enough to learn, to learn from, the understanding that look, times will change. People, not just energies will change, language code, like I rightly mentioned, all of these things will change. If I will only be lying to myself that this is how it's always going to be. And the second part is not to trust experience too much.
What does that mean?
Okay, so experience is what has worked, but some other things will work, which is being inspired, inspiration. Over time, most of us we age, and we think that yes, this is how we've done it, and that is the way it will be done every time. So we've done it before. This one cannot work. That one cannot work. That is what experience tells you. I keep using this same phrase that experience is a comb life gives to you after you have lost your hair. It actually gives that you have the experience almost when you don't really need it again. But what do you need experience for? To check, okay, why this thing did not work the first time, or why it worked. What are the lessons I can learn? They are there to learn from, not really to stay and find comfort in. So that I try as much as possible to treat experience that way, and I want to stay inspired. Then the third part is I am conscious and aware of growth. That one of the enemy of growth is comfort. One of the enemy of growth is settling down. You know, to say, yes,
this is it.
This is it. So the day you stop being hungry, you are not really, you know. And unfortunately, the world is not staying static.
Yes.
The world is moving. So there's a need for you to be like the snake. You know, to renew yourself, you need to keep shedding off your skin and all of that. And one of the hardest parts is to actually stay humble enough to ask these young guys what is going on. To ask what is going on, because you might not have been crafted to understand their language code. So the ability to listen beyond how you feel. You know, most times we correct what we don't like, not what is wrong.
Yeah.
So it is easier to say, this one is bad, that one is, than to say, why are they even doing it? And they will explain to you that, this is the new thing and all of that. So those are some of the things that I keep to myself. And like you said about the banding, I've always been like this. For me, I don't want you to look at what I'm wearing. I don't want you to look at how I'm looking. I want you to hear what I have to say. And I want you to also listen to what I have to give. You understand? But as much as I try to remove all of that, I still try to keep myself to a place of what fits me. Not necessarily what is in vogue or what everybody's jumping to. And I don't believe you dress a particular age. I know people that are even older than me, that when you see them, you feel that these people they are still Gen Z and all of that. So if you say these guys are Gen Z because of their age, don't forget we are in their world now. So you too need to actually start thinking more. That how is the Gen Z thinking? Why are they thinking the way they are thinking? How can I measure up?
Tap
and all
into
of that?
it, very impressive.
Amazing things you've spewed out today. I think if once the editing goes on for this video, we're gonna just pick up parts and then name them moments with _I:D Cabasa. Maybe that's what, just do like a compilation of everything you've said. But if there's one thing I want to get into, at least finally, it's the song Anytime. It's dropped now. It's doing amazing already on social media, of course, even on streaming platforms. But there's a question that needs to be asked. The list arrangement, I mean, the artist you had on the song was pretty much not what a lot of people expected. Did we think it's going to be a storytelling song? Amazing. We knew it was the reimagined version, but we had Bella Shmurda on that. I mean, Bella Shmurda is everybody's guy. But all of a sudden, we saw 𝐈𝐍𝐻𝐈 and Ajebo Hustlers. You need to walk us through this selection, because I felt like maybe now this is just my thought. Maybe the first thought you had in mind was, okay, Bella Shmurda. Maybe just Bella Shmurda. Maybe along the line you envisioned 𝐈𝐍𝐻𝐈 somewhere, and then, I mean, you already told us a bit about this, but the people need to hear the selection of 𝐈𝐍𝐻𝐈 and Ajebo Hustlers. Why? And yes, it has worked, but what difference does this make?
What connects the three of them together?
What connects it?
So the question,
I think that's one of the
what do you? Okay, let me throw this to you. What do you think the three of them they have in common?
They have a story to tell.
One.
I think it's the sound, right?
I think it's also the sound. There's a sound
and
there.
The three of them are coming from the streets. They have a story of pain. They have a story of really surviving. They are not some rich kids that stuff were thrown to them and they enjoy. You understand? They have a story. If you listen to that song, anytime the rain is falling, you know, all of those things that normally happens. If you listen to the original song, that song got me crying, got Nice crying when we were recording it, because Nice was literally, without filtering anything, telling some of the things that had happened in his life. You know, when you live in a one-bedroom apartment, like 7 of you in the same room, right inside your house, there is a gutter that is passing through it, and, you know, rain is falling. The next thing is, instead of you sleeping inside your flat in 𝐈𝐍𝐻𝐈, somebody is packing water. And they're doing that thing actually reminded me of one incident that happened to me in America one time, that I had a pipe burst while I was sleeping all night. By the time I wake up in the morning, everywhere was filled with water. Normal Bariga boy in my head is, let me start packing the water.
Yeah.
Only for Igbo people to come and they were like, are you okay? And they were treating me like, and I'm like, no, Shawili. And all these things are normal. They put towel on me. They were that, are you traumatized? And I'm like,
are you traumatized?
On top, say water boss. You understand? So, you know, when you look at some of those things, you could relate. So the three of them had stories. You listen to Bella, you know, saying some of, you know, Coco.
Yes.
That area, some of the things they went through. 𝐈𝐍𝐻 got me out here when 𝐈𝐍𝐻 mentioned that when he asked the mom, where's the dad? The mom said that the dad is in America, whereas the dad is dead. That is what we get.
Yo.
You understand? That is what we get around the hood. You know, you also mentioned about Cash, that before 𝐒𝐭𝐤𝐲 to the Cash, which is his real name was 𝐭𝐤𝐲.
Yeah.
But when he became, you know, a sensation, he became Cash and all of that. You know, they are technically telling you that, look, we've been through the streets, we've been through this thing. We were also influenced by the things that influenced you, but we made better decisions to actually do this music thing. I had the live session, 𝐈𝐍𝐻 session with the 𝐒𝐨𝐻𝐒 hustlers yesterday, and they told me the story from where they are coming from in Port Harcourt, even when they got to Lagos, that they squatted in several people's home.
I think they mentioned that when they were here. Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
They mentioned all of those stories because people think these guys are just lucky. No, they put in the work. You understand? They put in the work, and by the time you start celebrating what you see, probably you should also hear the story behind it. In fact, you know more about great people when you hear their stories.
Absolutely.
So that is what that song represents, and I think those three guys actually did justice to it.
Yes,
so,
they did.
Yeah.
And I think one side of justice that was done is in the production. We know you, Cabasa, as a masterclass producer, but who did you work on? You know, this thing. Did you actively, produce the song?
I created everything
from start to wow.
On that song.
The mixing, mastering, everything.
So the mixing, mastering, I worked with my long time friend. He's also an OG for Stazino.
Hey, okay. So on this track we have I have a touch of history, of the OGs and the old school and the new school.
And even the video, we're still telling those stories. You know, you saw where that guy was shot after doing crime and all of those things. So.
Honestly, I know 2025. I think 2025 is going to be a year where stories are told. In the music industry, and I hope artists jump on that very soon. And of course, this Anytime song is already taking off. And I mean, you've mentioned when I don't know if I'm allowed to say what you said. I think I'm going to hold out on it. But when that happens, you know, concerning everything that you're doing now, the things that are happening, the place, please, we want an invite.
No problem.
Because I talked about it the first time. In fact, that was the first thing I'd mentioned. I said, this has to happen. Because people have to understand the music industry.
It's going to have a documentary. There is going to be a show. So it's more like a reunion of coded tunes, and
that would be so beautiful, honestly.
And then you bring back the video of Fields. That was that time when Fields was playing keyboard.
We have to wrap it up. We have to wrap it up. Next up, we're going to get into, of course, top 3 at 3. Tell you some crazy stories happening around the world, and of course, go listen to Anytime. Birimi is my favorite so far. I think after Olufumi, then Birimi comes next for me in all the series of Reimagined and all. So keep listening to all the Reimagined songs. Don't forget, we're telling our stories, and we do need to be supportive of this so that Afrobeat stays forever. Yeah.
And I think one of the things I'm going to mention before he goes is that you said something about, you're in a one room and then you have like 7 other people staying in that room. And it's funny that people have that story, but this is a signal to everyone. If you're listening to us right now and you're going through that situation, or your own is you don't even know where you don't even know anything about your dad or your mom, guys. The sky is blue for a reason, and it's going to be blue, shining, leading you through the way. There's a reason why the moon shines at night, so that you would never miss your way. Even the stars are there if the moon is not out. So, honestly, God is going to provide chances for you to change. Take those chances, make better decisions with your life. Don't do drugs. Make better decisions, and trust me, the sky is just your starting point. This one is Anytime. Cabasa, Bella Shmurda, 𝐈𝐍𝐻, and 𝐒𝐨𝐻𝐻 Hustlers.
Did you enjoy this video? Hit the subscribe button for more. Leave a comment and like. Thank you.